Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of my FileMaker tutorial series. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to deal a lot with what we call parsing data. Now, what is parsing data and what good is it and why should I need it? Well, parsing data is especially good for, let's just start a brand new, or let's open one. Let's see what we got in here. So what we're going to do is, where is it? Parsing demo. Okay. So what we're going to do is let's edit this really quick because I want to change the design, the theme design. I want to make it something totally cool. So wave electric. Let's do electric. Okay. So maybe that way you guys can kind of see it. That's kind of my point. So what we're going to do, the reason why we need to parse data is parsing data is taking a sum or a whole of data that is required for a specific item, for a specific thing. So let's say you have serial numbers for all of your products and you have 12-digit serial numbers, but then there are some products that have 14 digits or some that have 18 digits or some that are even longer than that. Or let's just say you need to parse data because you want a part of the data and not all of the data. Like you want the first couple of letters or whatever because you're wanting to create something. And so we're going to go through this really quick and I'm going to show you how to create some pretty cool things. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to File, Manage our database. And currently in this one, we just have one table and it's called Parsing Demo. I just started this like yesterday. It's pretty quick. And then in the fields, we have a text and then we have the parsed and it's text. Now, if you double click on this parsed thing, you can find that there is a spot in here where you can do a calculated value and then you can summarize, you can tell it what to do. And what you can say, if you type in here like you can do right, start from the right and go over a couple of characters. You can go left or whatever the case is. But I will tell you right now that this is a gigantic mistake. If you start, I'm gonna dull this down just a little bit because it's just a little bit too bright. Okay. I will tell you this. If you do this right here, it will not work. This will not do you any good at all to go ahead and parse data actually on the field itself. It doesn't do what you want it to do. So if you had this as an auto enter calculation and that calculation was to be like left 4 digits or left 5 digits or whatever, it's not going to work, right? So just start yourself a couple of fields. The text field, which is the text or the number that you want to change. And we're going to do this like very cool because what we're going to do is we're going to split them up. So we're going to actually create our very own serial number. Now, this cool thing is you can actually create a serial number on something like, let's say we want to know the color of something, right? So we're going to type in color because we want this to be part of our number. We're going to say color, and then and that's going to be a text, so we'll create it. And then we're going to go right back into it, and we're going to say color underscore ABV for abbreviation. And we'll create that. And we'll say, okay. Now we're going to grab our field picker really quick, and we're just going to grab our color one, and we're going to grab our color ATV. We're just going to throw them out on the field because that's how we do things, right? We're just going to throw them out here on the field. Now, what we do have currently is all of these. We have our text, our parsed, our color, and our color abbreviated. We're going to line these all up because I'm a big line them all up kind of guy. And I want to make them all even Steven this way. So I'm going to just put my little text thingy over here, my little parse thingy over here. Just so we know what they are. That's all. That's the only reason why I'm even keeping these. Just so we kind of know what they are. Now, if we exit the field and we put in a text, so this one, let's just delete what's in there. So this one, if we put in, let's put in FileMaker series video, and as you can see, I just put in FileMaker, but if I press this Go button, it just says FileMaker, because it's parsed the data that's actually in there. So, and I'm going to show you how we get to that. So if we go into Edit Our Layout, the best way to parse data is via a script. Via a script. I know my camera is just not focusing. I'm not really sure why. So here's the script that we used for it. See how simple it is? It's like a couple of things. So we're going to set the variable. How we're going to do this is we're going to set our variable, and the variable is going to be the text. And we're going to do the same thing with the color, right? So we set the variable, and it's going to be test. And here what we did was we said under the value part, as you guys can see under the value part right here, it says specify. So what we did was we just went in, we typed in left, and we got text number of characters. So we see okay. Now this particular thing, we can set this however you want to. As a matter of fact, let's just delete it and we'll just do it again. So if you go left, type in left, it'll say text number of characters. Then just highlight the word text, and because what we want this to be under parsing demo, and we want it to be the text. So we want to grab the information from the original text, right? So we'll just go ahead and we'll grab that one, and then the number of characters. So we're just going to highlight the number of characters and just the number of characters, and we're going to say 4. We're just picking how many ever numbers you want. It doesn't matter, and we'll say okay. Okay. Now it will just pick the first 4 numbers, or the first 4 letters, or first 4 digits. Now, if you want it to be like the middle numbers, I can show you how to do that as well. So if you have like a bunch of zeros and then a bunch of numbers and then a bunch of zeros, and you just want those numbers in the middle, I can show you guys how to do that as well. But for the most part, what we're learning today is basically how do you parse it? How do you get just the parts that you want? And that's kind of the big deal. So we now have the first 4 of our piece, right? The first 4 numbers of our serial number that we want. And then we can set the field parsing demo text. We can blank it out. That's all we did. We just blanked it out. So we set a field, and we just set it to quotation marks to blank it out. And then we're going to set our field, which is our parsed field, to our variable that we set earlier with the parsing. See? And then we halted the script. So what we can do now is we can come in to our set field here, and we're just going to do this again. So we're going to set a variable, and that variable is going to be, and we're looking for the color, right? So we're just going to say CLR, because that to me stands for color. And we're going to do a left function, and we'll just say left. Now you can take, if you want like the first 2 letters and then the last letter, this is going to be tough, but I'll show you how to. You have to literally build boxes to be able to do that, right? You have to build all of these boxes, whether they're there or they're hidden or whatever the case might be. My camera is really messing up. I don't know what's wrong with my camera. I might have to just download some new firmware for it. But so what we're going to do is we're going to grab this part here. So we need left, and then we're going to go, this is going to be our color. So we're going to highlight just this, and then we'll double click on our color. And then the number of characters that we want for it is, let's say 3. 3 is probably adequate. And we'll say OK. Because that'll give us, like, if it was black, it would be BLA. If it was blue, it'd be BLU. If it was white, it'd be WHI, whatever the case is. So you'd pretty much be able to tell from the first 3 letters. And we'll say OK. And now what we need to do is we need to set a field. So we're just going to go over, we'll set a field. And the field that we're going to set is our color field. We'll double click it. And we are going to just make them into our quotation marks, which will blank the field out, right? And then we need to set another field. So if we come here and we set another field, what we're going to do is the color abbreviated. So we want the color that is abbreviated to come into this. So the target field will be our color abbreviated. And the calculated result is going to be the $CLR, right? So we'll type in $CLR. Okay. Why did I just do that? Okay. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. I was like, did I do something wrong? So now if we exit our layout and we type in the, let's say, cog or whatever, we can, let's just type in Timothy. And then our color will be blue. So now we have these 2 variables that we set that we want, right? And we can just press go. And now we have Timo blue. So we need to be able to delete these if we want to. So let's now create all of that in one field, right? So we want to be able to take those 2 things, combine them, and then move them into one field. So we want Timo blue or blue Timo, whatever the case might be. If you want color in the beginning, we'll put color in the beginning. So what we're going to do now is we're going to, just for purposes of showing you kind of how this thing works, we're going to grab this field and we're just going to move it over here. Grab this field and we're going to move it right underneath of it. Then we're going to grab these. We're going to move them over here. Just the reason why we're doing this is just so you guys can kind of get an idea of the steps that we're taking. Donald Trump, how's it going? It's so good to see you. What is Munchausen syndrome? I have it, so don't even bother. So what we're going to do is I want to kind of show you guys the steps of how this works. So the next thing that we do is we start here, and then we end up here. And now we need something else. So we want to be able to bring all that information into one specific place. So we go in, we manage our database. Now what we're looking for is we need to get a field that is the total field. It is the number that we're looking for. And we can do this endlessly. So, I mean, we can like add as many steps as we need to. So this is just, we're just going to call this one, I'm just not even going to abbreviate. I'm just going to call it total, and we'll create it. And notice these are just text boxes. There is nothing else in there other than text boxes. And we'll grab our field picker, and we're going to grab our total, and we're going to bring it out here. Now we'll move our total over here, because that's what it is. Let me make this box a little bit smaller, because it's kind of big, kind of in my way. Now the cool thing is, these boxes that you see right here, they can literally be in the footer, and you can hide them so that no one ever sees them. So they can be completely hidden, completely out of the way, in the footer of your deal, and you don't even have to worry about it. So I'm going to grab this really quick because I kind of messed up right here. See if I can get my mouse to work. There we go. Because here's our footer. It's down there. It was like giant, right? But now it's really small. So now when we go into our go button. So do I? Well, that's my doctor said what it is. I see. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to grab this information and then combine that information and put it in our total box, right? So what we're going to do is from set field, now that we have these fields, we're going to set a couple of variables. So we're just going to grab a couple of variables. And the first variable that we want to grab is we can call this the, do you want the color first? What part do you want first? So we're going to set the first field as the color, but I can't name it CLR because I already have that in there. So I'm going to actually have to type out color. And then I'm going to specify what that color is. So that color is going to be my color abbreviated. And the second field that I want to set is, I'm going to say name, although it's the bulk part, it's the number part, or whatever the case might be. And we'll specify that as the parsed text. And then we need to set a field. And the field that I want to set is going to be my total field. And what I want this to do is, and this is going to be cool, is, now remember, you have to do these correctly, right? So we're going to do $color, $color, and then we're just going to stop right there. You guys see that? And then we're going to come over here and we're going to grab the plus. Now, if you want there to be a space, then you need to add a space. But I don't want a space, and I'll show you how to do it without a space. I'll show you how to do it both ways, actually. But so we'll say plus, and then we're going to do $name, $name. And let's see how this works. And we'll say OK. And then we can go ahead and halt the script. Now, actually, let's go in, let's do this really quick. Let's go from here, let's set two fields. So, and those two fields that we want to set is, we want to set our parsed field, and we want to set it to blank. And we want the other one, we want to set our color abbreviated field, and we want that one to be blank. So that the only thing that shows up after all of this is said and done is the value that we're looking for, the absolute value that we're looking for. Oh, save it. Okay. So now if I exit my layout, and I'm good, Donald. Thank you very much for asking me. So in this particular one, let's type in 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 2, 3, 7, 8, 6, 5, 4, whatever. Just a bunch of numbers. And the color we're going to use is black. So we'll just type in, we'll type in capital BLACK. Now we can have this as a drop-down list, which is totally cool. If this is going to be your color thing, we can add this as a drop-down list. And the cool thing is you can add drop-down list after drop-down list after drop-down list. Like you can have like 10 drop-down lists, fill them all in, and then press the go button, and it will extract parts of all of those and bring them together and create your list, right? Or create your number. So now if we press go, watch what happens. We end up with 1, 3, 4, 7. I don't know why it didn't do what it was supposed to do. Let's find out. BLACK. And we'll use our tools and our script debugger. And now we'll press go. And we'll use our F6. So here it uses the parsed value of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 3. Then it's going to set the value color. And it's going to do 3 of them. It's going to set this field as BLA. Then we're going to set a variable, parsing color abbreviated. Set variable color. plus name. It skipped the color part. Oh, I know why too. So let's go back into our thing, because it's going to set, it's not going to set it as a text value. That's the reason why. So it's a good thing that we found this, because if you go into here, you click this and you calculated result must be a text. Well, that's absolutely the truth. Let's do this. Let's highlight this. Okay. Okay. Because I thought for sure it had to be a number. Let's see. Exit. BLACK. Go. What? What does it matter with you? It's not working. That is pretty interesting. Okay, so let's go back into editor layout and find out what is wrong with our Go button. You would probably know him, Avasai. Okay, so here we have these. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete these two setting the field thingies so we can at least see what's going on. So it should set the field color plus name, $color, $name. See, I don't know why it's not doing it. Specify target field total. Calculation must be a number. That's good. Calculator result. Oh, you know what? We didn't even need to do this. We didn't even need to do that. That's so funny. Well, I'm glad that we figured this out while we're both here. So if you set your field here, because we already have these two fields, so this doesn't even make any sense. This variable, let's cancel this really quick. So once that we've set a field, so we're going to clean out the field. So we have the parsed field is filled in, and then we've got the color field that is then set in here. So now all we need to do is we need to get rid of these variables, because we don't need this variable. Let's clear it. We don't need that variable. But this field that we need to set is, I think this will work. Let's see if we do this. We can do, we're going to set this field as the parsed plus the color abbreviated. And see if that works. And then halt the script. Okay. Let's see if it works. So the text is let's just add a bunch of numbers, and the color will be white, and we will go. And so it's still not setting, for some reason this field is not setting what I wanted to set. Manage database. My total field is simply a text field. I'm trying to do this the easiest way possible so that it doesn't confuse everybody, although it is confusing me. You'd probably know him as he was a DJ. I see. I am reading your stuff, Donald. Well, that doesn't make any sense. You should have to set... Because it's setting this, but I don't know why it's not setting that. Why it's not setting that field. go back into our script and find out what is going on. So the color demo, the set field color, set field color abbreviated, set field demo. It should just set this field. That's really weird because normally I can take data from a field and then move it from one point to another point, but I'm not sure why it's not going, this stair step thing, I'm not sure why it's not going or continuing to go farther than what I actually had it at. So set field, I don't know if I need to set the, if I need to take the I'm just thinking here out loud. Because normally you would set, once you set these two fields, the fields are already set. So then all you have to do is take your two pieces and put them together. I guess you could take, let's try something really weird. Let's try this as $test and instead of plus and $CLR. $CLR. Say okay. We work through these things. Sometimes I do them on purpose, sometimes I don't do them on purpose, but that's good because you guys need to learn just as well as I do and see if we can make these things work. And so now if we get rid of these, get rid of this, get rid of that, exit the layout, and now we put in, let's put in Timothy and put in the color yellow and go. And so now we have Timo Yell. It's kind of fun. I mean, you can create all kinds of really cool stuff. So let's do this just so you guys can see. Let's edit the layout. We're going to grab our little thingy here. We're going to make these 24. And this one we're going to make like 36. Okay. Move our little go button down here. So now you know when you're putting these things together, so you guys can see them now. And now if we edit the exit layout and we type in, let's type in Donald. And then we'll call it, we'll say the color is blue. Now remember, these can be anything that you want. They can be, if I wanted another one on top of that, I could do that as well, right? So Donald, remember it will pick the first 4 letters of Donald, so it'd be Donna. And we'll type it in, and now it's Donna Blue. Donna Blue! This actually works really super well for a bunch of different things. Like in my particular case, what I have is I have a situation with a what am I looking for? I have barcode numbers, and I'm very anal about everything being like right on the money. So I have barcode numbers. Well, I have some barcode numbers that are 6 digits long, some of them that are 12 digits long, some of them that are 9 digits long, some of them that are, you know, they're like all over the place. And when I'm doing my inventory, I like all those numbers to be the same. So, or in some cases, the barcodes are the same, but they're different. So like on one product I have, and they're like pencils, right? So this pencil, it's a 12-digit code, barcode, and the barcode ends in 1, 2, 3. The same pencil, but it's a pink color. The barcode ends in 1, 2, 4, and then the blue one ends in 1, 2, 6, and the purple one. But when I'm selling them, I don't really care about the color. What I care about is how many pencils do I have in my inventory. And so in order to do that, sometimes you want those last couple of digits of your barcode to not appear, because those are identifiers for either their color or for some other purpose, either they're like flavor, like bubble gum or soda pop or whatever. Sometimes you don't want to know. What you want to know is, what do you have in stock? You don't want to know all of these interesting things. But so this could be absolutely anything. So in this text, I could write in blue, and this one I could write in bird, and go, and it would be bluebird, bluebird, bluebird. So it doesn't really matter what you type in or what you set these as long as you remember the first one is the first one, the second one is the second one, and you can obviously switch them in your thing. But if you wanted to add another field, you could add another field, and then all of those fields would come out here depending on how many that you wanted. So if you wanted a 9-digit descriptor of something, and then you want to be able to save this data for some other purpose, you wanted to give it a name, you could certainly do that. But parsing is a really super cool thing. And remember, you can always do it from the left or from the right. But one of the cool things that I want to show you really fast, because we've only been doing this about 30 minutes, so let's just do this really fast, and then I'm going to get to fixing my camera and find out what's wrong with it. One thing that I want to show you really fast is you can take from the left of something and from the right of something. So if I wanted to have like black as BLK, or blue as BLE, or whatever the case might be, if I want to be able to take the first 2 letters of something and the last 2 letters of something and combine them, or the first 3 and the last 2 and combine them, I can do that very simply just by basically coding those in. So, and how you do that is, if we go to our edit and we go to our script, here where it says that we are to set this variable, and it says we're doing left parcel demo 3. If we click on that, we come back in, we can type in this little descriptor part, we can type in right. And so this particular one was the color. So we're going to type in the color. And we want the last 3 digits. So we'll just highlight that and we'll type in 3. And we'll say OK. OK. So now it's going to pick from on this one, it's going to pick from the right. On this one, it's going to pick from the left. OK? So remember that. Now, if they're the exact same word, so let's say OK. So let's see what happens if we type in, let's type in black. And let's type in black. And let's see what happens. It's blackack. See how it changes it? So those are, you can pick whatever you want to. So in this particular case, we can say this one is Timothy. And in this one, we'll say white. And so it's Timoite. But it's fun thing. It's a fun tool to play with, and it's a fun thing to use. I use it a lot for if I want very individual item names or item descriptors or whatever the case might be. You can use this for all kinds of purposes, but parsing in FileMaker is very, very, very possible, and it's very, very, very handy. So a lot of people would use this on their invoicing. Like, let's say you wanted to create individual invoicing for your customers, and you wanted those invoicing numbers to reflect sales for different items or different companies, or like, let's say it was a wholesale, you were selling both wholesale and retail. You wanted to define those two so you knew the invoice was to blah blah blah, you know, was a wholesale invoice or it was a retail invoice, or you could split it up if you had different. So one solution, I guess my point is, one solution can be utilized for a plethora of different things to create whatever parsed data that you want. So if you have a long-winded number and you only want a few parts of that number, and you have whatever, something different, you can use that to create whatever you want. So I thank you guys very much for letters in a payment check. Yes, you could do that as well, David Angel. You can use it for letters in a payment check. So if you're like paying invoices, you could do that. If you're accepting invoices, you could do that as well. So parsing is a great thing. I just wanted to show you guys how to do it really quick, and I wanted to show you that it is endless. You can just keep going and going and going and going. If I wanted to take and run this down to even farther, I could do that as well. So anyway, guys, I so appreciate you guys. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you guys for being here with me today. I'm going to fix my camera because I look really weird. I don't know. It's like weird. But I will see you guys in the next video. I just want to get one out so you guys could see some parsing. I think the next one that I'm going to be doing is really super creative. I will be doing that on Monday, so that's a couple of days away, guys. We'll see you then. So make sure that you stay tuned, hit the little bell, and so you guys know what's coming on. It's going to be cool. My camera's going to be fixed, obviously. It's going to be fixed. And I'm sure you guys will enjoy it. It is part of our tutorial session with FileMaker. I have FileMaker Pro Advanced 14, just so you know. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, bye guys. Thanks.